What's up, everybody? It's Henry from the PSI Defense channel coming to you with another video. I know you guys have been patiently waiting a long time for this one, and so have I. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the cool testing that I have in mind because I think these things really deserve that I give them justice, and that's the ZRAM Z.68 CNC machine stainless steel 68 caliber rounds. A quick disclaimer. I have noticed a lot of people in the less lethal community have been after what seems to be lethal stopping power with these, which I can understand it. If somebody breaks into your house or tries to assault you or your family or anything like that, you want to make sure you're able to stop them. But on the other hand, if everybody is shooting less lethal launchers and killing people, and they're digging HPs or JUL V2s, or especially these, out of people's cadavers, because they've been killed by them, that's going to force people to change the laws. So I'm not saying don't get these cool rounds and don't jack up your markers. Of course, this channel is dedicated to that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is be responsible. I really do believe that it's going to be difficult to prove non-lethal intent, regardless of what your weapon is and what your state laws are, if you're shooting something like this. The chance of lethality for this is extremely high. What I have noticed, and what a few other people who've done some testing with it have noticed, is that it takes a lot less power to get a lot more penetration. It carries a lot of inertia. It's got a tipped point, and high chance of lethality with these guys. So for me, what I'm going to end up doing is probably keeping them in my FSC and keeping that in the house. I'm not going to leave the house with it. I don't plan on being out and about. And if I'm out and about, JUL V2s, HP 68s, even SSD 10s, within reason. SSD 10s are somewhat lethal as well, but I'll probably just use Grimburgs, so because it's a less lethal round. It's classified as a less lethal round from a less lethal company, and it would just keep us all safe as far as our chosen method to defend ourselves in our homes. And I will tell you guys, the amount of testing that I have done with the myriad of launchers that I've had, anything in the 35 joule range or above, you're good. You're going to drop the person. They will not want a second shot. I say, because most of my launchers are in the 42 to 50 joule range right now. And if I hit somebody, it's going to be two things. It's going to be ER or morgue as it is. So using Grimburg JULs, which is classified as a less lethal round, is going to guarantee that nothing's guaranteed, but in a court of law, if I ever have to answer for defending myself with this, I had a less lethal launcher and a less lethal round. If you have a less lethal launcher and a very lethal round, even if your state, like the state I'm in, Ohio, has zero gun regulations, this can be prosecuted as lethal intent. So just, be responsible with this stuff so that, everybody just be responsible with this stuff, and then we won't have to worry about a lot of the fears people have about their guns. And I'll just leave it at that. So what they recommend is that when you load your ZRAMs or your Z.68s, you load one up like this. You load one up like that, and then all the subsequent rounds will go in like normal, just like HP 68s or any other shaped projectile. And as you can see, you have that steep angle. And that steep angle is necessary to go into your chamber properly, because these are metal. They're not flexible. They're not very round. It's like shaped and milled to exact specifications of really Labco barrels, I'll say, because that's what the guy in Germany, Daniel, he uses Labco barrels. First Strike and Tiberius stock barrels were made by Lapco. So they were milled with Lapco barrels in mind. I have noticed that the eBay barrels, this is my 9-inch eBay barrels, right here, the transition inside to the breech. When I first tested one in one of these, it got caught here and it actually left a burr, and I had to mill that out. Now what I'm going to do with my eBay barrels is Dremel that opening a little bit so that the Z-rams slide in and out, and then once I get them boom treated, this barrel was already boom treated, which is a shame that I would have to do it again, but once you get it boom treated, any of the imperfections from the dremeling or the sanding or whatever will be just smooth as ice. But I have a hack for you guys today. So you don't have to use this round here facing up so that you can shoot all the rounds. I've seen several hacks on Facebook, some promising hacks, some not so promising, but I found one that works because I've successfully cycled magazines, or all of my Z.68s through my marker with this hack. And what it is, instead of using this as your follower, essentially, we're going to remove the spring loading of the actual stock follower, and that does the trick. So what I'm going to do is remove the spring and the follower from this T8.1 magazine. So I just, like always, stick Allen key in there, pry that out, catch the spring with my finger, then here you go. So as you can see, the follower has a very light touch spring action. I mean, it doesn't take very much at all to spring that down. I've already done this one, and as you see, I've done another one. I'm probably going to end up doing all of them, but as you can see, here's one that I've done already. It doesn't press down. And of course, I'm going to go out to the range to test these bad buddies, but of course I want to do some comparison testing. I've only got 5 of these because I let one of my buddies check one out, so I mailed it off to him so he can see what all the fuss was about. But I have some more of these coming from Germany. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to test them against JUL V2s. These here, let me show you guys the weight. All right, so Z.68s, they're all 8.517 grams. Just say 8.5 grams. 8.5, 8.5, 8.5. And the closest thing I have to that weight are Test Poulos' his molded epoxy rounds with steel ball tips. So as you can see, that's 8.3 grams. 8.28, which is 8.3. 8.35. 8.37. As you can see, they're finned. They're all very uniform. It's actually a pretty good round. I have shot some of these without any problem, and he makes an assortment of other sizes. Look at that. That beast is 10.7, 10.5. I believe that's like an 8.1. Yep. But I've only got 4 of these, so what I'm going to be testing, first I'm going to get our benchmark with our JULs. Then we're going to test Test Poulos' round, and then the Z.68s. Okay, on to the hack. It's a very simple hack. All you're going to need to remove the follower and your spring from your magazine. And what I do is is I take my O-ring pick and I just lay this flat. In this hole right here, I kind of dig in and push through like that to get this to release. Alright, there we go. As you see, this is a paintball mag. It's got some gunk in there. And then there's the spring. I've seen some people say to rotate the follower, but do not rotate it. I've tried it both ways. The way that it's in there works the best. I'll just clean out some of this dried paint. Yes, I repeat, do not rotate the follower because it will not work. And then what I simply do, I take some glue stick. Now, maybe some better materials that won't melt, but you know, it takes some pretty high temperature. Nothing you're going to see like in a hot car to melt this, but it will get softer and pliable. And I cut it just maybe a millimeter or so above the edge. I've got that. Then I take my cap and stick it back on. Same way it came off. Boom. Now that doesn't spring load. That's all there is to the hack, and you can fire your Z.68s without issue. I don't know if you'll ever need this spring, but I always keep them handy. Stick your red First Strike spring back in there. Always compress the spring with something like my pick or my Allen key. And then boom, that's the hack. So now these are ready for the Z.68s. Z.68, I guess. Okay, and as you can see, I've got that angle. I've got that swept angle there. Just like as if I had a spare round pointing up. But now you can just fire all of yours instead of using one as the follower. So that's a win for me. Okay, so I'm just going to load my mags, get ready for testing. I don't know if he's going to call these TP10s, TP8s, or whatever, but I will give you his contact information to contact Ted. I believe he is going to be selling those rounds. And they're good. They're good ammunition. They come in a variety of weights. I'm asking him for a 6 gram round because I think 6 gram is great for distance. And with the steel ball in there, it will carry some inertia. With the fins, it'll grab some rifling real good. That'll be a great long distance round for my VKS. Okay. Last but not least, all right, gonna have 4 of each. Load each with a brand new Crossman CO2. To keep it as scientific as possible. Alright, and what I'll be firing from is Old Faithful, my FSC. As I usually roll with my good old First Strike barrel. I did modify the breech because I noticed that it had some loading issues with my Comritech mags. This is a 16 gram mag, and a 20 gram mag is right here. I had some loading issues with these, so what I did, I had to open up the breech. I ramped it in and I opened it up front to back, and it's been working pretty good. Do this at your own risk. If you're not good with a Dremel, I don't recommend it. You definitely want to watch your metal shavings. You definitely don't want to take too much metal off of this edge because that's where your spring and your bolt, it takes a lot of force. You're going to need enough metal there to accommodate that. But putting this to the side because it will not shoot these shape projectiles. So I stuck a stock T8.1 barrel in here. As you can see, I got my Grimburg compensator. I know these are on sale. I don't know if at the time you're watching this video, I believe I paid about 60 bucks for mine, 60 some odd dollars. It's worth every penny. It's very strong, very well built, has a cool Grimburg logo there. They were on sale for like, I don't know, less than 30 bucks, I believe. So if they are, jump on that. And then I've got, like I said, the T8.1 magazine, a trusty Olight, and we'll go out to the garage. All right, y'all, out here in the dirty garage, I'm at the range. I've got my FSC, PRV has been deleted. I've got VKS bolt spring and sear spring. I've got my T8.1 stock barrel, of course made by Lapco. Got Comutech fiber optic sights. Got an Olight Balder Mini, Hogue grip sleeve, 4 rounds of Grimburg JUL V2s, and a new CO2 to get our benchmark numbers. All right, just a good click. .348, 334, 296, 276, and I think that's it. All right. I got Test Poulos. I'm not sure how to say his name. Poulos. I got his 8.3 gram rounds. Going in the FSC. All right, see what we're getting with Ted's rounds. Oh, that was loud. 352. It's a heavier round and it's shot harder in the Lapco barrel. 334. 292. And 262. Alright guys, and here's what we've all been waiting for. The Z.68s, as you can see. There's no round. Let's see. Alright. There's no round sticking up, just my follower hack. You've got that great angle there. We've got 4 of them and a brand new CO2 going in. And if I didn't have Kevlar right there, I would highly be worried about me not making it through there. That was loud. 344. 322. As you see, the hack is working. It's cycling just fine. 286. Oh, spoke too soon. Okay, let's check it out. There aren't any burrs. When I did damage the one barrel, there was a little burr right here, and I had to knock it off with my Dremel, but that appears to be fine. But the last one got jammed, but I will assure you, I have cycled through a full mag of these through this barrel without issue. They recommend that you use the grease to keep them lubed, but I've got some more gas in the magazine that I use, so let's shoot the last one. I know I lost a little bit of gas with the jam, but let's see what we get anyways, just so we can have something to put on the chart. All right. Hopefully it doesn't jam. Let's see what we got. It jammed. All right, so the last one, is a jam. Maybe it's because it's dry. I'm not sure. Let me try something else. Always release your mag in a safe direction, because I have had markers that have jammed, and when I cleared the jam, the round shot out. So always be careful with these. Because if you're clearing a jam with your Z-Ram rounds and somebody happens to be standing in front of it, that person is a high likelihood that they will have to seek immediate medical attention. Okay, so I'm putting 3 rounds in here to see if maybe just the last one is just gonna jam. Let's see what we get. Oh no, maybe I do have a burr in the barrel. I have to check it out. It's the real world results. I'm not gonna edit this out. I will, however, modify my barrel that I'm going to leave in this FSC so I can shoot these. But something to be wary of, that you may get jams. And finally, here's our ballistic test results. The JUL V2s, always a solid performer at 8 grams. We had 45 joules, 41.5 joules, 32.6 joules on the 3rd shot, and the 4th shot ended up 28.3 joules. And to Test Poulos' 8.3 gram rounds, which are the winner of this comparison. Slightly heavier than the joules, but still managed to have slightly more FPS. Starting out, we had 47.8 joules, 43 joules, 32.9 joules, and 26.5 joules. And then the Z.68s at 8.5 grams. Started out with 46.7 joules, 40.9 joules. Then the 3rd shot gave me 32.3 joules. And what I would like to say about these, although they did jam at the end, I did cycle 2 full mags after my magazine hack without any issues. So I've got a little bit more digging to find out what it takes to make these reliable for self-defense. I'm not counting them out yet. They're very well made, and testing proves that it takes a lot less FPS to do the same damage at much higher FPS with other rounds, because they are metal and pointed tipped. So always be careful with these things, guys. I will put Test Poulos, zram.net, and Grimburg's links in the description to their ammunition, so that you guys can easily find them if you'd like to purchase them. They're all very high quality and great rounds, in my opinion, even with the jams on the Z.68s. And as always, if you found this video helpful, help me out and subscribe to the channel. Drop a like, share, comment. I'll answer any questions that you guys may have. And as always, make sure you take care of each other. Be responsible with your less lethal defense weapons, and show some love today. Peace out, guys.